course full of fish, crabs, sea stars, and anemones. A southern sea otter pool, and the exhibit's namesake and star attraction, the Stellar sea lions.
Good boy.
When we picked Stellars, knowing how large they are, we wanted to really get a very large pool for our Stellar sea lions. And so we got an exhibit of roughly 200,000 gallons for our Stellar sea lions.
Chris Fevercord is the zoological curator. Because of his love and knowledge of sea lions, he knew that successfully recreating their natural comfort zone would present a huge challenge because of their size. These marine carnivores can grow to a beefy 2,500 pounds, making them the largest of the sea lions. Current residents Gus and Julius are a healthy, trim 1,000 pounds, but that was still too large for their former zoo home to handle. They need something bigger and better. It is hard to imagine that these guys will someday be almost 3 times their current size. To get there, they will require 35 pounds of food a day. So designers had to construct an exhibit that would encourage them to forage for food, as they would in the wild.
Well, the Stellars like to move a lot through the water. They do forage on the bottom of the ocean at different times. So we made a lot of different complex areas that they can swim through, not just straight back and forth.
The zoo constructed 2 huge gunite rock islands that extend well below and high above the water's surface.
So that's Gus. He's our larger of the male, and then Julius is still in the water. They're both right around 1,000 pounds, which is actually, that's pretty small for a Stellar. Is this the eye drops for Gus? Okay.
Marine keeper Nicole Nicasio has devoted her life to maintaining the well-being of the animals of Stellar Cove, always making sure that they are healthy and well-fed. Even when feeding Gus and Julius their 35 pounds of fish each day, the staff is continuously coming up with creative ways to enhance the animals' lives.
When we dive in the pool, we have eye bolts that are drilled into the gunite rockwork that we can clamp things together so that we can put things that are submerged in the exhibit. We have different smells that we might stick on the rocks for them to smell. And we can hook up hoses and misters to create different water effects in the exhibit. We fill up containers with ice and water and then give them to the animals while they're frozen. And then the animals will kind of manipulate them in their mouths or maybe with their flippers until the ice melts and they can get the treats out of the ice.
As the sea lions keep eating and getting bigger, the sheer size of the animals can be hazardous to the keepers. Sea lions can be territorial and aggressive, so designers had to take that into consideration when they constructed the exhibit.
Right around the corner here, we actually have a little nook that's kind of built into this exhibit structure. This is a place that we have access to in case we would ever need it. An animal got a little grumpy or a little aggressive with us, we could sneak back there and kind of protect ourselves. So that's a really, really nice addition to have. And then on either side of this little keeper's nook, we have 2 gates that give us access out of the exhibit. So there's actually 3 places you can go to feel fairly safe. Now,
Having the keepers safe is important, but it's the daily safety of the water quality that is most pressing in an exhibit like this. With such large sea lions comes a large amount of waste. The task of keeping the environment healthy falls to Craig Good, the aquatics technician. If anything goes wrong here, the animals would become gravely ill.
Probably the most challenging thing about life support systems at Stellar Cove would be the sea lion exhibit, which I like to compare it to sort of a sewage treatment plant meets swimming pool. In a typical swimming pool, the filtration system can be fairly simple because you're not dealing with animal waste. Whereas here you have animals that are excreting waste into their environment and you have to make it livable for them. This is one of our larger ozone generators. We use ozone as an alternative to more traditional oxidizers like chlorine that might be used in a public swimming pool. It really doesn't leave any harmful residual in the pool like chlorine or chloramines.
Even with all these daily health precautions, the zoo had to prepare for the unlikely event the animals would need urgent care. given the tremendous size of the sea lions, dramatic steps would need to be taken if there was an emergency.
If we had an accident in this pool, be it an animal or a human, we needed to have the ability to drop these 200,000 gallons in the quickest manner possible. So we built a large drain that actually drains into our tiger moat, and we can drain this pool in under 5 minutes.
This astounding feature gives keepers the fastest, safest access to the animal or human in trouble. It was the one design feature the zoo hoped they'd never have to use. But a series of dramatic events led to its one and only use. Just as Gus and Julius were getting accustomed to their new home together, they were about to get an unusual roommate. Not another sea lion, but an orphan elephant seal named Mira. She was found stranded as a pup off the coast of Northern California, with no one to take care of her and no means to fend for herself. Without a home, Mira would not survive. Because Stellar Cove was built for unusually large sea mammals, the Oregon Zoo became Mira's only hope. But there was another serious problem.
It's a miracle that she's alive because she's completely blind and has been since birth.
The Oregon Zoo had perfected a habitat for two highly aggressive and territorial stellar sea lions. But now, they had to accommodate an abandoned blind elephant seal. If the two species can't coexist, it could be disastrous for the animals and the exhibit. Coming up, can the staff of the Oregon Zoo rebuild the exhibit to accommodate a blind seal? Or will these aggressive sea lions make it impossible for fragile Mira to survive? Find out when Ultimate Zoo returns.